Bare Naked Ladies.
Bacon's killing me.
Bacon is strong. I did a song by Bare Naked Ladies as well for it. Oh, hello there, beautiful. I know. Why are you
She's
so?
feeling very,
why are you so? Yeah.
What's the word? Not needy, but just like cuddly.
Cuddly. Yes.
Needs attention.
I know.
Affection.
You want to be my new affection?
Physical.
Oh God.
I need physical.
Like a cat that needs patting.
I know I'm a cat that needs pets.
Yeah, you're
up against you.
and the one that's always like rubbing against you like that. That's
I
what.
don't know why.
That's what you're doing.
Oh, that bacon's killing me. Why is it smelling like that?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't usually get all the way
it's
up
really
here.
wafting up.
Anyways, yeah. So I think I did about 5 songs or so, and then she said, "You know what? I'm gonna take a chance on you, and I'm gonna put you through to the next round."
Yeah.
So they said, "Okay, here's your ticket. Go back here and sign it." And the next round is the judges. So that was like 2 days later. They gave you information. It's a secret. Yeah, no, exactly. It's a secret location that we weren't supposed to tell anybody about. And you said, all right, you come to this location. Here's a whole bunch of songs that potentially you could sing for this. Be ready for that. Be ready for a long day. And yeah, basically you have 2 days to sort of think of a game plan, what you want to do, what you want to sing.
Were you losing your shit?
I was like, I went into that thinking like, okay, you know, I've taken some voice lessons before. I've done a few recitals at that point. I think I'm a pretty good singer. It's not my life or anything like that, so I didn't go into it with nearly as much pressure.
Yeah,
I feel as like some other people who think like this is their one chance to actually make it.
Yeah.
So I honestly, I went into it thinking like this will just be a cool story to check off a bucket list kind of thing, to just say, you know what, I like slept in line at West Edmonton Mall, waited for the auditions, and got to sing in front of some people. I thought it was the judges round like right away, because that's all you see on TV is the judges. So I'd be like, you know what, whatever they say, I can at least say that I tried.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Were you worried about at all
how I was gonna, if I was gonna get laughed at or something like that by judges, or
failing?
That crossed my mind a little.
I guess as an actor, you're used to being rejected.
Did you make it on television?
No, I didn't. But
are you glad about that?
I actually kind of am, because I didn't make it past the judges round in the show. So that tells me that, at least from what I watch on television, you either see people who are really, really bad or people who are really, really good. So that tells me that like, you know, and they didn't tell me that I sucked, but they didn't tell me that I was like gonna go on and win the show or make top 10 or anything like that, or had potential to win and stuff, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, totally.
What did you sing?
For the judges round, like before I even
Touch Me.
No, but another, like, I guess they had known some of the songs that I sang for the producers before. So once I
you do me my neck
first,
once I met them and said, hi, how are you doing, and everything like that, I'm Joel, and etc. The one judge, Jake, one of the judges for the show, said, can you sing some Doors?
Oh, wow.
So
they must have known
Doors,
that
the band, the Doors.
Yeah,
they
must
did.
have been on the list.
Yeah, so I said, okay. And so I sang the Doors.
They might have liked that version. And not many people would go in there singing the Doors, I don't think.
No, a lot of people would sing like that song from Aladdin was a popular one. One that a lot of girls sang, which is like so overdone, is Amazing Grace.
Oh, really?
But it's done so many times that it's almost like committing suicide when you're doing a song like that at an audition like that, because it's like, how many more versions can you hear, and how is that going to make you stand out from the crowd if you're singing a song that is sung by millions and millions of other people that are auditioning?
Did anyone sing Whitney? Attempt?
Not in my group, no. One girl sang Amazing Grace, and she was absolutely phenomenal singing it, but she was only like 16 at the time, so I think everybody... I think the producers probably saw her as like being too young and not mature enough to be a pop star at that point. Plus, it was Amazing Grace. She sang it fantastically, but like, how many other great singers in the world could sing that exact same song that way?
Can you come over this one?
So
I've gotten really tired really quick.
So they had asked me to, when I got to the judges round, one of the judges said, let's hear some Doors. I said, okay. And then I sang Love Me Two Times by the Doors. And then he had asked me, okay, can you do it again, but be more animated, be more into it. Don't just like stand there and play, sing it again like that. So I sang it again, tried to be a little bit more animated.
Did you have backing music?
I didn't have backing music, but I did have,
you told me you sang Touch Me.
I must have been mistaken. I've sang that song at karaoke before. That song, but Love Me Two Times was the song that I sang.
That's still such a good song.
I didn't have a backing track, but I did. You know the part where it's like one for tomorrow, one just for today, and it goes da 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 da. Well, the judges, when I sang one just for today, they banged the desk and went.
Wow.
So that was really cool. They were like,
must have been fans.
Yeah. So yeah. I did that a second time. Then they'd asked me to do another song, so I did Bare Naked Ladies.
Which one?
If I Had $1 Million.
I don't know that.
By the Bare Naked Ladies. It's one of their first. It's one of their first ones that kind of took off and was a really big hit. It talks about if I had $1 million. If I had $1 million, I'd buy you this, but not really. That's cruel. If I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. And it talks about everything that they would do if they had $1 million.
All right.
You know the song, right? Bare Naked Ladies. If I had $1 million. Yeah, that's the one.
Please stop singing.
I told it. Yeah, wailing.
Anyway, so I sang that song, and then after I'd finished that one, the one judge, Jake, said, you had me up until the last note of that song, and then you kind of lost me at that one point. And then they were all just kind of like, you know what, we think you're promising, you think you're a good singer, but we're looking for somebody who is like great, you know.
But it doesn't mean you couldn't do it again.
No, and honestly, like I had zero ill will whatsoever, because I went into that audition process, I was telling Tim, without any sort of expectation whatsoever. I can't even read music. I can I don't know, I don't play any musical instruments. So I'm not like one of those people that auditions for like X Factor, who auditions for Idol, that say to themselves, this is my life, there's nothing else I would rather do other than be a musician, be in a rock band, be a pop star or something like that. I wasn't one of those people. I came in there thinking it'd be cool to see what kind of an experience this would be. And at the same time, I thought to myself that I was comfortable enough in who I was, and I was comfortable singing because I had taken some voice lessons before that in college and done a few solo recitals in my voice lessons, been in a couple of musicals and stuff. So I just went in there thinking, well, maybe how well could I potentially do, just to see. And so the fact that I made like the top 150 or so people out of like 1,200 or so that auditioned in Edmonton was good enough for me, even though they didn't like put me through to Toronto to the top 100 or so, give me a gold ticket or anything like that. I went into it thinking, you know what, I got a lot more experience out of, like, I got 3 days out of that whole experience, whereas most people sat and waited in line for maybe 9-10 hours or so, all for like 30 seconds, and then a judge or producer telling them thanks, better luck next time kind of thing. So that kind of an experience for some people, I can understand, might leave them with a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth, because a lot of these people that audition, and even friends of mine have auditioned for that show before, who like love music so much, have been involved in music since they were little kids. So for me to be able to like get that kind of an experience from that, I was like, I don't mind that you guys cut me at that point. Like, it's a cool story to tell, even. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of people don't ever get a break that. Look at that one, what is that, the Scottish singer, Susan Boyle? She's Scottish, right? Like, how old was she when she Yeah, how old was she when she like shocked audiences when she did that? What did she sing? I Dreamed a Dream? Yeah.
I think she still lives in a St. Little Village in her same house.
Well, how did where'd she get all her money from?
Britain's Got Talent, right? Yeah, no, that one, her coming up on stage, I can remember, and everybody like seeing who she was and her being like, I'm going to be a singer, and it's got her like eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was...
And she did something funny. She was like... did that. And everyone was like, what?
Yeah, and everybody in the... I remember seeing people in the audience and her being like, well, I've never gotten a chance. And she's like, I'm 56 years... Yeah. She's like, I'm 56 or 57 years old, and I'm going to be a professional singer. And you can see people in the audience like, okay, like they're just holding their breath like, oh, she's really going to suck. And then, yeah, it was absolute, like... The first line, like, I dreamed a dream, you can see the one judge, Amanda, for...
Do you want heating?
For the show was just like, and then I think Piers Morgan was Piers and Simon were the other judges, I think, right?
This one
at that time, you can see Piers just like, are you kidding me? What the? I think he even said afterwards, like, I'm reeling from shock from that, because everybody in the audience I know was probably laughing at you and against you when you said you're going to be a big star and that, and then you opened your mouth and started singing that song. Yeah. That's still pretty shocking, because you go in when you see somebody...
Have you seen any other English X Factor?
You know what? I saw an English X Factor, like, this is a purely comical one, this guy that totally embarrassed himself. A guy that was probably around Susan Boyle's age, maybe in his mid-50s or so. He was a janitor. His name was Steve, and... he had never sung before in his entire life. He went in front of the judges, and he had a huge boner while he was singing on stage. And so there's a video called Steve Has a Boner that you can look up for X Factor, and you can see him, he's an absolutely horrendous singer. He's not even singing. He's just talking. Well, I don't know what it was. But whatever it was,
the judges say, "Have you?"
When they voted on it afterwards, Simon said specifically, Simon Cowell said, "You know what? I just don't think you're the complete package."
Oh, so
Do you know about the Little Mix that came from?
Yeah.
No. From
Do you?
From Britain's Got Talent or from X Factor? Or? Okay.
Feel that huge knot.
Yeah.
They are big.
Yeah.
One of the girls died, didn't she?
No.
Oh, someone else?
TLC.
There was this band in the UK, or was it US?
Not the UK.
It must be in the US, like a young girl, a girl band, old girl. It was only last year.
I don't know.
Oh, from the US or UK, I thought they were UK. Yeah.
But I just remember when One Direction were forming.
With Simon Cowell, yeah.
All solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so weird, like the whole process of seeing them at the judges' houses and then getting further and further. And now they're just the world.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange that they came out of that show.
I know.
Strange that The Voice hasn't had a breakout.
Yeah, The Voice hasn't
like
really had that. That's weird.
As a franchise, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Aerosmith does it, doesn't he? He's one of the judges.
No.
Steven Tyler was Idol for a couple of seasons. Yeah, no, he wasn't. I think him and Keith Urban both were judges.
Way better. Adam Levine did.
Oh yeah. Doesn't Gwen Stefani do The Voice too?
Yeah. That's how her and Blake Shelton started dating.
And does it?
Yeah,
John Legend. John Legend.
Australia last year to do it.
Did she?
And her and Delta used to just fight like cats.
I don't like Jessie J.
Yeah.
She told me off in the interview, and I was just like, you know
what?
Like,
Jessie J did?
Yeah.
Why?
I said you had one single in Australia, like. Oh, she wanted me to finish the next line of a song. I didn't know it. And I was like, oh, sorry, I don't know it. And she's like, you haven't even listened to my album? I'm like, you've got one single on the radio. The album hasn't even dropped in Australia.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, did you love her?
No, I don't know that much about her, but I haven't heard amazing things. I thought she was... Didn't her dad was someone, or...
Lana Del Rey?
Yeah, and they say that that's kind of how she got in or something, and she was terrible live. That's what I heard. The first album, but then she got better, second album.
I miss my iPod so much.
They're actually helping you.
I think so.
Did
I think it's
Idol
really ambitious.
start in
To
Britain?
impact
I think
slowly.
didn't Simon originally do Pop? It was originally Pop Idol, right? Okay. And Simon
See?
Cowell was a
That
judge on
pussycat
Pop Idol when it started out, right? I think.
Oh,
Before he
okay.
moved to the
Be
States.
gentle, be gentle, be
And
gentle, be gentle.
I'm assuming Will Young was the first
Oh my
winner
God, that
of
feels
Pop
nice,
Idol.
though.
That's just
Can I
a
have a little massage.
yeah.
Just do nice
I'm just
massage
assuming because
now.
I remember they did when Idol was sort of like a big thing around the world. They did World Idol one time for like a
Yeah.
Christmas special. It was
talked
just
about
after the
The
first.
worst was Maniac.
Oh yeah,
Who
that German.
we loved and
Yeah.
loved. I remember I
No.
set up like we had a blow up pool in the backyard
Yeah.
and we'd pull
And maybe
the
just
TV
quick
out in the
show-
backyard
just-
to watch World Idol.
Yeah. No,
Maybe just
Actually, I think the Australian
Maybe
judge
just
was the
quick
worst
shoulder,
in that
just
one.
really quick,
Ian
and
Dixon
I'll
was
give you
like,
one.
"I'm afraid that was a comedy routine. This is your chance to shine on the world
Yeah.
stage, and you just did a stand-up comedy act. That was ridiculous."
Yeah,
Yeah,
a great
I remember Guy Sebastian saying, "What a wonderful world."
Yeah. You should have sung something else, we thought.
Yeah, but the guy that
Climb
won,
Every Mountain, you did that so well.
the guy that ended up winning was from Norway, Kurt Nielsen, and they said that he looked like a hobbit.
Yes? Yes?
He's right here.
It's a little late now. Say sorry?
Sorry?
No, I'm just kidding. It's too late now, but they did bring you some ways.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah. I'll do that tomorrow morning. Thank you.
But Will Young sang a Doors song for World Idol. He sang "Light My Fire," and there was a judge. The judge from Poland thought that he sounded like Mr. Bean doing the Doors, like Simon and the British guy, because Simon was
What happened
representing
to
the
Will
U.S.
Young? Is he still around?
He did a song that was on montages for American Idol. The song "I Think I Better Leave Right Now."
Oh, was that his?
That was his, yeah.
That was his first single, wasn't it?
Was it his first single?
I don't know.
I just remember it was showcased all the time. You know how on Idol, when somebody's eliminated, they're like, let's take a look at your journey back. And
Now they do
played
Philip's Home.
They played Will Young's song whenever it would be like, let's take a look at your journey back.
I've never watched Idol.
You saw some of the auditions. We already discussed like whether they were fake backstories. They were just like, you wait till you watch them, Joel. Oh, like out of control, unbelievable backstories. Like this one guy that's just like growing up with my brother out on the farm.
Did he
We
shoot?
were so close.
He shot the brother?
And he shot his brother, and his brother died. And he's just saying this. I was just like,
Wow,
that's
that's intense.
Made up, like,
Yeah.
so I don't know if they've made it up. But it's like, how do they find these people? Like, do they trawl through like criminal records and then go, "Is that a singer? Okay, let's call him up
Right.
to audition." Like, it was like that.
Interesting.
And then, or they'd go to their house or their workplace, and it was so well shot, and it was just so like amazing that it just seemed so unreal. But in such a really entertaining way. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
like that little troll with the hat that was the best. She was the first audition of the last season, and she was so not a commercial artist, but she was unbelievable. I loved her so much. She was just 100% positive.
Did she make it through?
She made it through.
She did, eh?
I think she was top 24, and then they
Nice.
cut her, and she was just the most lovely young girl.
Yeah.
she wasn't Down syndrome, but she looked like she was Down syndrome, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
And you could tell that it was her dream. And, like, they went to her house and she lived in, like, a trailer and a family. And the mum was like, oh, yeah, so-and-so's.
I remember that.
I know. Do you remember her now?
Yeah, I do.
I wanted her to win. Like, I was like, she should win. The whole time they're going, Kelly Clarkson started this.
And they were all watching, like, in the living room, all watching. Yeah.
Because she was like, I remember when I was, like, 6 and watched Kelly Clarkson win, and it's been my dream since then. And now she was, like, 16. And she looked like she was about that tall, and she had, like, a country, like, girl hat on.
Yeah.
And really bad lipstick. Like, she was just really just like... Oh.
Yeah.
But she was a good fucking singer.
Yeah.
She was a really good singer. Just, she'd never be American Idol. And I just was like, oh, why can't they just give it to her? Why do they have to always be pretty?
Yeah. I love seeing stories like that, though, people that don't fit the mold. Like,
do you
remember Clay Aiken?
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember what he looked like in his first audition on American Idol?
You guys looked alike.
He tight shirt. He had big glasses and stuff. He looked like a computer programmer.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
I love that us three can talk about American
I know.
Idol. Yeah. Big Brother, it's bad. We probably shouldn't, but...
Yeah. And then Clay opened his mouth and started singing, and Simon and Randy were just like, yeah you don't look anything like an idol, but...
Yeah, do you want me to massage you? Where do you want to go?
Stay here. I want to keep talking about Idol.
No, I know,
but... some of the big ones that we're forgetting? I'll never forget the year that they did start introducing a few, like, alternative kind of singers.
Yeah.
I didn't
this
like
one
when
girl
they
that
started
used to
doing
sing
that.
barefoot and she'd put a rug on stage.
What
She had,
year
like,
was...
dreads, I think. Really
Crystal
bad
Bauer socks?
teeth.
Crystal Bauer
Yes,
socks?
yeah.
The one that got second to Lita Wise, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dreadlocks?
Yes.
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 I always thought she was
she
a
played
really
a lot of
interesting-
acoustic stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She wasn't. She like vocally. I think there were other people that were better than her, but like when you heard her
she just
sing,
had,
she
like,
told a story all the time, and you could tell that she
There's those
like
people that just
everything
have
was
that
so
X factor.
heartfelt.
They're
Yeah.
original. Mm-hmm. They're not like any other artist on the scene.
Yeah, she was definitely one of them.
8535.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, just do it. Who else are some of my favourites? Oh yeah, we've talked about that little one that I loved that sang, I think it was her audition, she sang Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, and then Steven Tyler joined in with her.
Right, yeah.
She ended up coming first or second, I can't remember. I think she came second to
Philip Phillips?
No, the stupid.
Philip Phillips?
No, not Philip Phillips. The other country one.
The
that
country
looks
guy
like
who always sings that
weirdo.
song. Lock the door.
Yeah.
Was it an older?
No,
Younger, he had a baby
really
face.
young.
He looked like a little baby, and then
But he
had
had
this
the
big
deepest
man
voice.
Oh, I can't remember.
He was just like. Row, row, row.
Yeah.
She came second to him, I think.
Okay.
Why do so many country artists get so far? Like,
Because Americans love country.
they do, and they're all the ones that are watching and voting, aren't they?
I personally also think, and that like sometimes it still ends up that the best singer ends up winning these, but I feel personally that some of the people that make it really far in this make it really far because of whatever their hometown is in. For example, like there were 3 of the 6 winners of Canadian Idol were from Alberta, and 3 of them were from
Medicine Hat.
smaller. Yeah, one of them was from Medicine Hat, Kaylin Porter.
I had the biggest crush on Kaylin Porter when he won Now Just a Dream.
Yeah. I peed next to him before the auditions.
What?
Oh my
in
God.
a Canadian Idol.
Oh, shut up!
We were in the
that
same.
was
We
the
were
year
we were a urinal apart from each other before we had to audition in front
Was
of the
he
judges.
cute in person? What happened to him now? What's he doing?
No idea what
Do you have,
he's
like, a
doing.
family
Probably
or
like
something?
most people who have won Canadian Idol, not much.
Can you get with him?
Kaylin? He was like a baby when he won. He was like 19 or 20 or not even. He was like 18 or 19. But like they told him in his audition, like, but when he got a gold ticket, you're probably going to win the show.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't show that until afterwards, obviously,
Yeah.
but like Farley
knew
and
it.
Jake and stuff were like, yeah, you're going to win the show.
Wow.
Just so you know. And
Really?
he ended up winning the show.
How did they know
So-
that? Was he that good?
They just thought he was fantastic. Yeah, he sang that song by the Animals. What is it?
I said he was hot.
The song "There's a House in New Orleans," the House of the Rising Sun, I think it's
That's
called.
on Nick's iPod.
Yeah,
It's a good song.
one. It's a great song. But
Oh, look, they know who audiences are gonna.
yeah,
like-
and that's what I think factors in a lot is your region where you're from. If you're from, there's been a lot of people who have been great singers on Canadian Idol who said their hometown was Vancouver or Toronto or something like that, and they didn't get as far as like guys who are from. There's a guy who's from Drumheller, Alberta. So obviously, like,
So what, the whole town gets behind
so the whole
them?
town gets behind them, and everybody from that town is probably phoning in every
Wow.
single time, putting in a vote in. Whereas, like, if there's somebody from Toronto who's an absolutely phenomenal thing, well, it doesn't necessarily make front page news like it would in Drumheller, like it would in Lethbridge,
you're
like it
right.
would in like Brandon, Manitoba, or somewhere like that. Right? People who are from those places, they're in the front page, they're on the local radio stations being talked about, so they have all this other extra fanfare where
Voting,
people are going to be voting for them. Whereas, like, in Toronto, well, it's not really that big of a deal because the Leafs are playing, because the Raptors are playing, because there's these big
there's a
shows
lot
at the
more
Mirvish
choices.
Theater. There's a lot more things to go.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody from American Idol who is from Manhattan, New York, is going to audition for someone from Los Angeles, California. They might not necessarily get as many votes as somebody from Montgomery, Alabama, or somewhere like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, what about the song choices each week? Because obviously they're limited to what song choices they can choose from, and Idol's associated with Sony, isn't it? So I think the default is that they only sing Sony artists,
right?
But they can, like, there's a list of songs they can and can't sing, I think, unless it's their own choice.
Yep, that's right.
So how much do you reckon that affects? Like,
I think that can potentially affect it because there's, for example, on Canadian Idol, sometimes they would have like a standards week. Like they had Paul Anka mentor the singers on the standards week.
I think that it's going to be us, not Jerry Kelsey.
Yeah.
yes, he was so bad.
Yeah.
Well, he was a great performer. Like, he was like. Yeah. And do you know what else? Just a bit of a scratch. I reckon Alston will be better than that because he competition. Christmas first. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. They would be the two.
Howard Stern. Why does that sound familiar? Isn't that
He's this older, ugly guy. Yeah.
He used to host a radio show. Used to host a radio show.
Yeah. And now he's on Australia's Got Talent. He's on America's Got Talent. Yeah, he's a judge on America's Got Talent. The movie about his life is quite good.
Private Parts, yeah.
It's quite good. I liked it.
It's basically him just. He's was a morning show host who basically said what was on his mind. He spoke his mind. He said every kind of sexual joke you could think. He didn't care about dropping an F-bomb, saying any curse words or anything like that. So
People
he
loved
basically, everybody like rallied around him.
Shock jock.
Please arrange a house-wide battle.
Didn't we?
Oh, that must be a mistake. Please come to the diary room, I bet it'll say.
Joel,
Yeah.
please arrange a house-wide
Yeah.
battle.
Oh no, another
Malfunction.
battery change. All right.
Oh shit, we've still got noms tonight. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Rude. I know, it seems like it's been such a long day. I'm so having on.
It's so quiet with that.
Oh, thanks, Nikki.
I'm actually not minding slop this week. I know it's like early, but I don't mind it at all. But we just need to pretend that it's affecting us so people feel sorry for us, think that we're weaker. True. That's the only thing. It doesn't affect me whatsoever, but I just pretend it does.
Okay. Good job. I really enjoyed that neck one. It makes me feel so much better.
Yeah. Massages are good.
Massages are good.